Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're doing another comic book review. Today we're looking at Ultimate Spider-Man number 19 with the same team as always, Hickman, Chichetto, and Wilson. And yeah, this opens up on a rooftop. Richard and Felicia, are talking about what happened in the last issue, and she's really mad at him, right? Although I don't know if this is good characterization. I mean, I think it is because it shows that she cares about her father above all else, right? Which is valuable. But also from like the perspective of a reader, it's like, girl, you tried to murder Richard. He should be the one that's angry, not you, right? And there's a bit of an awkward silence there as they get a flashback to what happened. It's Richard got trapped by Fisk. He venomed out. He became kind of like he basically hulked out, and what happened is that he turned into Venom. Really awesome, vibe. I really liked how it looked. It also kind of had a blue tinge to it instead of just being pure black, and it looked really, really nice, right? And so he venoms out, and it's really, really cool, and he just murders a bunch of people that Fisk, had hired to try to trap him, right? And because he's kind of berserk in this moment, he also starts attacking some of the lieutenants, and the easiest one to attack, of course, is Old Man Black Cat, and so he starts trying to kill him. Felicia, being scared and crying and hoping that he'll listen to her, manages to stop this from happening, and so we transition back to them standing in awkward silence, and obviously he apologizes to her for scaring her, but, like, does she deserve this apology? Sure, you almost killed your dad, but she almost killed you, and it was a much worse exchange, right? Her dad's already old and gonna die anyways because he works for Wilson Fisk, right? Like, I don't think it works to make you, like, it's hard to empathize with Felicia in this moment, even though I guess you should, but I don't know. I didn't really like it. I thought that it was kind of weird. I feel like it makes more sense for Richard to be angry and then her getting angry at him being angry because he almost killed her dad than having this be like the guy always has to apologize to the girl even when she's wrong kind of moment, right? So I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. I really like this issue, but that interaction there made me kind of think a little bit, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. Later, we see that Fisk and his generals are talking about what to do now that they realize that they have this monster to deal with. And Mr. Negative wants to read everyone using his powers. And obviously, Fisk won't let him because this is bad for business for all of them, right? Because they all have secrets. And it's better to have like a nebulously defined but positive interaction than one where everyone knows that they're all against each other, right? And so he tells them not to. We see that Goblin and Mysterio, in this case Gwen, had been listening into the meeting, and so they've decided that it's time to move. They gotta do what they gotta do. And later we see Mole Man show up to Peter's house, ill, right? Like, this is kind of concerning. He apparently has the power to just open doors randomly to different places, and he tells Peter to be wary of the Goblin, right? Because after his experience with Craven, he has to be different from before. There has to be something going on in his brain, right? PTSD or whatever. And Peter gets upset about this. I also understand what Mole Man is saying, but that is not the characterization we have seen. We've seen Gwen go crazy and become more evil, and we've seen that Harry has been the one trying to hold her back, right? And that he kind of let himself be pulled along by her throughout this stuff, right? So I'm not sure that worked for me either. I feel like I have complaints about this issue that I've never had before, mostly in terms of like some of the stuff that's being told to us versus what we've seen, right? But I wonder if that's because I'm not reading it correctly or because Hickman kind of fumbled a little bit in this case. I don't know what anyone else has thought about this story. Peter is upset, forces Mole Man to leave. He does. And then at night, Richard is caught sneaking back in. And obviously, MJ yells at him. And she grounds him, right? And then when Peter and MJ are in their room, he's like, it's kind of, it sucks, but also he's kind of safe as long as he has the suit on. So maybe it's not that important to keep him at home, right? And then MJ and Peter sit down and talk about other stuff. And basically, MJ is like, okay, I need you to tell me the truth. I don't want to ask for it. I want you to just tell me everything that I need to know because things are getting serious and I need to be aware, right? And so she's done asking, and he tells her, presumably, and we don't get to see what happened. But I assume that she's told, and she, you know, loves her husband and her family, so she's gonna stay with them. But she's definitely kind of probably, you know, wondering, you know, if this is going to be the end, if they're gonna die because Peter got his powers now, right? So really interesting, you know, issue. I think that it was cool to be challenged by what was being shown to us, like the fact that I had thoughts about the story that I probably wouldn't have had otherwise. You know, thinking about some of the ways that Hickman is writing that maybe I don't jive with, that has been interesting, right? So I gave this a 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's a pretty good issue. It's a really great issue, particularly the artwork. In this particular issue, I think it's better than the storytelling. But the reason it got a 9 out of 10 is because I didn't quite think that some of the stuff that was being worked through was stuff that I particularly appreciated or that I felt was valuable, right? So there you go. Those are my thoughts here on Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man number 19. Let me know what you thought down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.